Hi parents, it's Miss April again coming to you, recording from the classroom 3 at Corinth Montessori. Wanted to talk to you a little bit today about a few things that's really good to know at the beginning of the class year or the school year. Some things that you might hear your children saying when you come home might be a little disturbing to you at first, and I just want an opportunity to kind of let you know what's really going on there. So one of the things that I often get parents questioning is the work versus play. My child came home and said they don't play in the classroom. And that they hear me say that a lot. We don't play in the classroom, we work in the classroom. We play outside and we play at home. So little explanation behind that, because as a parent that can sound really disconcerting coming from your child. Mommy, we don't play in the classroom, we work. So suspend for a moment your thoughts and emotions surrounding the word work. As adults, we've learned that work is a hard, really tiring, horrible thing to do, and we don't want our children to have to work at all. We want them to just play and be children. So that's true in our world, because when we go to work it can be very difficult, and some of us don't like our jobs at all. But this is the child's work, and in the classroom we call it work because they don't just pick something up off the shelf and do whatever they want with it. It's very purposeful. Each and every work has a purpose. It's always going to be as beautiful as I can possibly make it. I want it to be intriguing. I want them to see it and go, ooh, I want to do that work. Right? We want that intrinsic motivation to progress and learn. Everything that we do, these are two of the most fun works. They get chosen most often right now in the classroom. Pouring some pony beads into a colander and hammering some golf tees into clay. So we have a lot of things that the children are actually learning through this, developing small motor skills, control of movement, also concentration and focus, which concentration and focus in a Montessori classroom are like sacred things. Really teach a lot around when someone is concentrating or focusing, they're really looking at their work and they're not paying attention to anything else. That is what we want. We want them to be able to work alongside of others without being distracted, just continuing to do the work as often as they want. To get mastery over the skill, and then they'll progress to a more difficult skill. So it's called work because it has a purpose, and but it's still fun to do, and it's something that they want to do. That said, the work period in the classroom is really only about 2 to 3 hours, depending on what time you arrive into the classroom. So really there's only about 2 or 3 hours of work time, and then we sit on the circle, do some group work, which might be singing songs or learning a group lesson, playing a game, something like that. Circle time. So we do a lot of calendar work on the circle, what month is it, what day is it, counting, those kinds of things. And then we go outside and play. And then we come in and we eat lunch and go to nap. So really they have a very short work period. If they're here after nap time, they might have a little bit more time to do some work in the afternoon. So this is really the time that their academic learning is progressing, is during that work time. Using that verbiage also helps me with management of the classroom. To remind children, that they're needing to move around the classroom with purpose, that they need to choose something to do instead of just running around and playing. Otherwise, 15, 14, 3-year-olds in a classroom, as you can imagine, can get a little chaotic. So that helps kind of with that. So the next thing that I want to talk about is our honeymoon period seems to be over. Usually lasts about 3 to 4 weeks, maybe 2 to 3 weeks, somewhere around there. And we've got a lot of students that have been starting kind of scattered. So, but I feel like the honeymoon has ended, and that means we're now into the phase of testing. So they are testing boundaries right now. This is a completely normal thing to do. especially children who are just kind of coming out of that toddler developmental stage. are kind of constantly in that stage anyway right now. But so they're testing me to make sure that when I set a boundary, I really mean it. And in the classroom, I do. I believe very strongly that setting boundaries and maintaining and being consistent with the boundaries in a kind and firm way is the best way to help a child feel safe. I think of boundaries like a banister across, on the cliff before the Grand Canyon. It helps to say, hey, this is where the boundary is, and if you stay behind it, you'll be safe. So, and that helps the children to feel a lot more safe and comfortable in the classroom. When they know what to expect, then they can feel comfortable and move freely in the classroom. So that said, as you can imagine, in this testing phase, it can create a bunch of power struggles, or some power struggles. So a little bit about power struggles. My philosophy is don't engage if you don't have to. So I try to stay away from power struggles altogether. And one of the best ways that I do that is to give choices. First I ask questions, and then I give choices. And we talk a lot about how you have a choice until I see that you're not making helpful choices anymore, or you're having trouble making helpful choices or healthy choices for yourself. Then I will make a choice for you. So they have a certain distance, and I usually kind of do the 3 strikes you're out in my mind before I will say, I see that you cannot make a helpful choice for yourself, so I'm going to make a choice for you. And they usually don't like that, but I do have to follow through with it so that they understand that this is the boundary. You can make a choice for yourself, or I will have to make a choice for you. So that's kind of how we deal with power struggles in the classroom, in a very short version. So that's a little bit about the work versus play and kind of where we are in our classroom right now of the year. After the testing phase is over, then we'll reach normalization. It usually takes about 6 weeks to get to a normalization stage, which is why I ask, if parents want to come in and observe the classroom, I ask them to wait until about October so that they can really see what that normalization is. It also allows the children an opportunity to really learn that concentration and focus so that when the parent is here, they can focus on their work instead of being distracted by the parent. And then you'll see a lot of growth happening in that time. So I think that's all I wanted to cover for this video. I do want to let you know that the first 3 weeks we've just been getting to know the classroom, and next week we will start our solar system unit. We're going to start studying the solar system, which is a lot of fun. In Montessori we always start big and then we kind of go small from there. So we will start with, we're going to do some solar system art and songs, and we're going to listen to Holst, the planets, so that will be our classical music, and we'll talk about Holst. We're going to also, not solar system related, but the artist that I'll focus on is Jackson Pollock, just because it's really fun to do Jackson Pollock type paintings, and so we'll hopefully get an opportunity to go outside and throw some paint on the ground and on some paper. And then at the end of the solar system unit, after about 3 or 4, I think I planned 4 weeks, we'll do a rocket launch where they can, it's a stomp rocket, they get to stomp on it, but don't tell them, it's gonna be a surprise. So that's what's coming up. Oh, this past week we had our first peace curriculum. I think I've told a couple of parents. We started with our peace lessons. Maria Montessori was a big on education for peace. And so this is our peaceful person template. And we talked about how people are different on the outside, but on the inside we all have a light that is the love that's inside of us. And you can't really see it from the video probably, but they have the flashlight that they get to shine through the peaceful person to see their love light. We call it a love light. We talk about how when we're happy and we feel like we've accomplished something, done something well, or we feel loved, that our light is shining brightly. And then when we're sad or afraid, that this shadow kind of comes behind, so you can't see the light as well, but you can still see it, and so it's very dim. We talk about how the light doesn't go out, but that it's either bright or it's dim. And so I'll be using a lot of that language in the classroom. You'll hear me say, oh, is your love light shining brightly right now? I see that you're very happy. Is your love light dim, it seems like you're feeling sad. And then we've talked a little bit about how we can make our love light feel brighter and feel more happy, and that's in 2 ways. The first way is by taking deep breaths, which we blow up a balloon and let it go out like that. We'll do it all together as a class, or I'll do it one-on-one if a child is needing some comfort. The second way is by making silence, and we have a little mantra. I cross my legs, I put my hands on my knees, I make my back very straight, I tell my body to be still, I tell my mouth to be quiet, I close my eyes, I take a deep breath, and I feel my love light inside. And then we sit in silence for as long as we possibly can. And throughout the year it gets longer and longer and longer. It's a lot of fun. So thanks for listening. I know this one was kind of long, sorry about that, but I think I got everything in. If you have any questions, thoughts, comments, please let me know. See you next time. Bye.